Hey everyone, welcome back to Gears and Glory. We have our very first guest on the show with us, Nuria. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are so excited to have you on the pod.
Gracias. Thank you. I mean, this is like such a big honor for me. Like I was telling you all, I mean, I always wanted to be on a podcast. So this is like a very special moment for me. Thank you for inviting me.
I think we should all get matching tattoos. Just like, what is it, Zach Brown gets? We can do the
Yes,
same thing. We'll tattoo each other's
let's.
faces in realistic art style.
And
Or you can draw them. You
I
Yeah,
can
can draw
draw
it. I mean,
Nuria
I
can
can
make
draw
our.
too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All
Oh
right,
my
well, let's get right into it. We have a couple of softball questions to get us started. So tell us about yourself, who you are, what you do.
Well, I'm Nuria. I'm an illustrator. I'm 99. See, 29. 99. 29 years old. I'm an illustrator. I'm a graphic designer and I'm a Formula One fan since last year. So yeah, it's been an amazing journey
Oh,
actually. Yeah.
Awesome.
fun. I feel like we're gonna have to switch it up at the very end, and we're gonna have to get like your perspective on Formula One as well. Go off track because I think it's so fun to get perspective. Like obviously, the three of us even have been watching Formula One for very different lengths of times, so I feel like it's always so much fun to like get your perspective like from different lengths of watching. That's not even English. My English has gone out the window apparently. But
It's always fun because I actually love, I don't know how long have you been watching the sport, but I always feel like I have no will or not enough will yet. So I'm always trying to talk to people that have watched the sport for longer than me and try to learn through them. So yeah, I mean, how long have you been watching this Formula One?
too long for me.
Really?
Properly watching it, like watching every single race, I think it's maybe my third or fourth season, but I've followed Formula One since 2014, so it's like my 11th season following. I'm old,
Wow.
but yeah, so it's been too long. I'm sick of it. I'm not. I love Formula One. Love you guys, but too long. Yeah.
yeah.
What
I
about
think
you guys?
I'm pretty similar. I've been watching it for maybe like 2 or 3 years, but my whole family's been around racing my whole life, so I've kind of popped in and out of like seasons.
Mhm.
But I'm now officially joined the rest of my family in being a fan.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, growing up, my dad was a big Juan Pablo Montoya fan because he's from Colombia. My family's from
From
Colombia. So we were
Colombia.
like, let's go. It was huge. So when we lived in the Midwest in the United States, IndyCar, the Indianapolis 500 in Indiana, my dad actually
Hmm.
drove out with one of his friends to go see Montoya drive. But then that was my dad, and I obviously am not him. So like it was around, but I didn't really start. I think I really picked it up after the manhole came up underneath Carlos Sainz's car last season in Las Vegas.
Oh,
I feel like that was like my first core memory, of like Formula One, where it was like,
yeah.
yeah, I gotta get into this, don't I?
Yeah, Vegas was insane. Vegas 23 was really
Yeah.
intense. So
Well,
very
and then
entertaining race
Drive to
to get
Survive.
into. Yeah,
Yeah.
too. That's
We
true.
love
Yeah.
Drive to Survive over here.
Yeah.
I've not really
Yeah.
watched something, but I love it.
I'm a,
It's
I was
beautiful.
really
It's a great
hooked.
show.
I was really hooked for like an entire 2 weeks or more or less, I think, because I was like binging it like crazy when I
Like
started.
it's your
So
job.
yeah,
Yep.
doing research.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we have a choose your own adventure question coming up. This will determine the flow of the survey or of the. Sorry, I work in market research and I work in surveys. I literally just got home from work of the interview. So which one? I think I know the answer, but which one came first for you? Was it art or was it Formula One?
No, it was definitely art. I mean, I'm an
Okay.
illustrator. I've been a professional illustrator since 2016. Yeah, I think, yeah, 2016. So I usually do editorial illustration for kids. I think
Okay.
that shows on my style because it's kind of like very cutesy. So yeah, I
Yeah.
usually do picture books for children and some advertising, but mainly that. So when I started doing, getting into Formula One, I just started drawing like in the style I did for children's,
Uh-huh.
and I think that kind of worked because I think Formula One is such a manly space.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
trying to mix that with the cutesy and the adorable kind of works. It's like the contrast between those things, and I think yeah, I mean, but yeah, I've been an artist for longer than I've been a Formula One fan.
Okay, no, that's very cool. I think you really touched on something interesting with how masculine the space is. Obviously, it's
Mm.
like only men that are drivers, and it's largely male dominated. Like what we got our first female engineer at Haas for Esteban
Yeah,
Ocon this year, which very
Woo!
exciting. But
rooting for her
But like
actually.
also
yeah,
Yeah.
crazy.
you know, it's been like Susie Wolf, and then like okay, crickets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, I think that's really cool. And I mean, people are clearly loving your style. Like, you're at like, what, 50 something
Thank
thousand
you.
followers on Instagram. So, like, you're clearly doing something right. So, merging those
Yeah.
styles clearly work.
Yeah.
It's been a really great experience, honestly, and very humbling because I mean, it all started because I didn't see enough Checo fan art, and I wanted to draw
yeah.
him. And
Yeah.
first, it was like the Latin American spaces that was like,
Hmm.
finally someone is drawing Checo, and then
Hmm.
I started drawing the rest of the drivers, and somehow, I mean, it's amazing how people are so encouraging um, to the artists in these communities. That's something I really like about this space. But yeah, I mean, it has been such an amazing journey.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Well, you've touched on how you became like a professional sort of illustrator back in 2016, but has art always been something that was sort of an end goal for you? Did you always want to do art? Has it always been art for you?
I mean, yes, I've been drawing since I was a little kid. I've always loved doing some art or art related activities. I'm a graphic designer professionally. I mean, that's my major. But I decided to turn into illustration because here in Peru, there's not like an illustration career. Like you don't get a
Mhm.
degree in illustration yet. So most of them just go to graphic design and then start drawing by their own. So that's what I did. So yeah, it was a complete journey for me. But I've always been interested in art in all their forms.
That's so cool. Yeah, it's so interesting how different countries will handle their education systems so specifically. Like, even hearing my family back in Colombia, or I'm sure even in Australia, like, it's different. Like, I know we have in the US 12 grades of like academic, primary school, I guess, and then like
Wow.
secondary education. But Colombia only has 11. So,
Mm.
like, my dad's thing was doing his study abroad was coming to Florida, which sounds so like, I guess I don't know, but
No, yeah, we have here 11 here in Peru, but
mhm,
yeah, I mean, studying abroad is always like a goal, a big goal for people here, especially because you get degrees that you don't have here.
Mm.
So
yeah,
for now, I think just a couple years ago, we finally have like a major in illustration.
okay,
So, but it's already too late for me. But I already like, thank God I could like make it into the industry
yeah,
thanks to the internet because
yeah,
it so many doors.
Mm.
So yeah, that's
yeah. It
my
makes the world so much smaller and easier,
yeah.
like easily accessible. Like, obviously, Australia, US, Peru,
Yeah.
Hmm.
Very different.
yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. So speaking of Peru, the next question I wanted to ask was, like, you are drawing a lot of children's books and you're drawing a lot of F1 art, but I know on your website you also had so much Peru inspired and like Peruvian centered art. What's your favorite part about drawing that? Because we'll get into all of the F1. This is an F1 podcast if you don't know yet. But talking about the Peru centered art, let's get into that. Like, what's your favorite part about drawing that kind of stuff?
I think my main my favorite topic to draw about Peru is just daily life. I mean, I could draw about. I do love drawing about the so many cultures we have here,
Mm,
the pre-Hispanic cultures, but mostly I love drawing how life is here. Like from something so random like going to the store or buying fruit or taking
mm,
the bus. I think um, I like creating images that other Peruvians can say, I have lived this. I
Yeah.
have identified, I recognize this.
Yeah.
And I think for me that's the most special thing. Like I mean, Peru is very like I guess for other people in other countries, Peru is like Machu Picchu, llamas, and
Mm.
perhaps other things. And that's, I mean, that's
Definitely a
great.
part of
I
it,
love
but
it.
not just.
But
Mm.
I love llamas. Like they are so cute. But I think it's important to kind of make like share what's life is here. So yeah, that's my
Mhm.
favorite thing to draw.
That's beautiful. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
That's so good. I honestly, Peru is one of those countries that I feel like doesn't get talked about enough, or like you said, if it does, it's all Machu Picchu or like the llamas or alpacas. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know what they are.
Oh, The
So,
Emperor's New Groove. I love that movie actually.
so I love hearing and like I mean art, seeing and like it feels like you're. It sounds stupid as hell. It feels like you're experiencing it. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Mhm.
So much through art, so it's cool that you can that those little things that people don't think about you can show through art. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I think. I mean, we have like I don't an art. I don't know how to say this. Like we have painters that used to do this, even on I don't know in the 15th century, I think. Yeah, more or less. That they just drew what happened in daily life
Mm.
here in Peru.
Mhm.
So it's kind. We call it costumbrismo,
Mhm.
like the costumes of the people
Mm-hmm.
through the eyes of the artist, and that's something I actually want to do again because I mean I love Formula One, but I think I want to do more pieces about that again, and perhaps even like mix them. We don't have much motorsport culture yet here,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
but eventually I would love to draw about the sport and Peru at the same time.
Mhm.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
That is so
Yeah, that would be the ideal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Two worlds colliding.
Yeah.
Yeah, my two
Yeah.
hyperfixations, like
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you definitely relate to the hyperfixation lens for sure.
and
Yes.
It definitely sounds like you found a niche area in both F1 and your art around Peru as well. So that's really amazing that you've been able to find a gap in the market that you can
thank you.
grow in. So that's really lovely. But are there any artists that you really grow or get inspiration from?
Yes, I mean I do love Gent Tartakovsky is one of my main. He was always a big reference for me since I was a child because he was the one in charge of cartoons like Dexter's Laboratory,
Oh
some
yeah.
like the style, the flat style. I saw that
Yeah.
as a kid. I was like, I wanna do this, and I get very inspired by his work.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Mary Blair, Disney artist,
Mhm.
very cutesy, very like fairy tale
Similar.
children's. Yeah, yeah. What else? Him, he was like a comic artist for DC. He went
Mm.
to draw Batman,
Okay.
the Batman show from the 90s,
Mm-hmm.
like the very
Okay.
stylized version. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that he was in charge of that. And then I mean, I really like other artists, like for example Van Gogh.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm.
mean, the style of painting. I don't do much textures like him, but I do is get inspired by how he uses color.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm.
yeah, so many artists really. I mean, and
Yeah.
from the Formula One spaces, actually, I've met so many people. Um, I think Faudreka. No, I don't know if you know of her. Her art is amazing. She's from France, and I think how he draws the drivers is amazing. So cool.
There's so
So
many.
yeah, Soria
Yeah.
too. I don't know if you have heard
I
of
think what's the handle? Is it
Faudreka.
okay?
Yeah,
Uh,
amazing art. You can check her work.
yeah.
And Soria too. They are both from France. I don't know what are they feeding
Something in the water in
yeah.
people
France.
in France. They are such good artists there.
I
But
mean,
yeah.
they have a handful of drivers from there too. It just feels like
Mm,
prime
I think
territory.
art is a very big culture in France, considering that they have so
mm,
much, you know, there,
Mm.
the Louvre and all that. But yeah, that's really great. There's a few artists in there that, you know, everyone knows, I think. So it's good to see how people that inspire you kind of influence your art and what you do. I think it's really got a little piece of everyone. It's poetic
Yeah.
in a way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's cool because I mean, no art is original. We are always trying to recollect all the reference
Mm,
we have and we mix them in our brain, and it's a really interesting process because um, what comes out of it, of that mixing, is very unique on its own.
yeah.
So yeah, it
I
was so
love that.
Yeah.
I don't
Mhm.
think I've ever heard that no art is original, but I think that that's like that's such a clever and astute observation. I
Mm,
think like not to quote Kamala Harris, but like we all exist in the context of what came before us, you
mm,
know?
Yeah, sure.
Which is
And
so true. So,
it's even important. I mean, you are encouraged to revisit old art and artists from the past, so you can draw inspiration from them. That's completely valid.
mm,
And yeah, I mean, no, for me, no art is original. It always, I mean, it's almost impossible to create something from nothing because
mm,
mm,
we're always trying to replicate or emulating or something inspired by something that you already saw. So yeah, but
that's so cool.
the touch you give it and your experience get mixed in with the references and something new comes out. So yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Mhm.
Oh, that's so cool.
yeah. No, I love that. And that goes for not just, you know, like physical art and drawing and painting and things like that, but also, you know, flows into other forms of art as well, music, movies,
Mm.
everything is so
Yeah,
inspired
Mhm.
by everything. It's just that's such a cool topic. I feel like we could talk on that for
Yeah.
ages. But if
Yeah.
we
yeah,
I guess recenter, come back to our
We
our
are
purpose
F1
of
podcast.
our podcast. I guess it's good to segue into that with how you got into F1 and what your backstory is with the sport.
Mhm. So how I got into F1 is kind of like a very ridiculous story, actually.
I
So
love these types of ones.
I always tell it because it's, or now I can laugh about it, but I was a bit heartbroken last September. So I was like going through stuff, and my cousin was, I mean, all 2023, she was telling me, I have to get you into Formula One. And I
Mm.
was like, nah, I don't care about cars. I don't even drive. So
Famous
last
last
September, I was,
words.
yeah, it was awful. So in September 2023, yeah, I mean, I was going through this thing and I was like, so I needed a distraction.
Mm.
So I told my cousin, perhaps this is the moment that I finally hear you and you explain to me what this Formula One thing is because I need
Mhm.
to get my mind out of this problem.
Mhm.
So my cousin was so excited. So she told me, "Okay, I'm gonna explain to you how Carlos Sainz won Singapore because I mean he won like the day before,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
that's how it started." And she showed me Drive to Survive,
Mhm.
some key races. She showed me the Sakir 2020 Checo win, so I was like hooked from the
Mhm.
start. She explained me how Max win and the whole
Oh
2020
yeah.
Abu Dhabi situation. And I honestly didn't expect to find it so interesting.
Mm.
So
It's
that's
so
how
dramatic.
I get into the wormhole. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's what's the hook for me is just the amount of gossip and drama because it's yes, it's a
Yes.
sport in and of the fastest guy's gonna win, but on top of that, in between anytime they're not in the
Yeah.
cars, it's little voices here, it's little voices there, especially when we had all of the contract signings
My
for silly
gosh.
season this
Yes.
past
Last year
season.
was so, I feel like we had more entertainment off track than we did on track.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. I always say that gossip in Spanish is chisme.
Yes.
So people always ask me, why do you like these cars going in circles so much? And I'm like, you don't understand. Like this sport is 50% the racing and 50% the chisme. And this,
Yeah.
like, you have to be aware of what happens outside the track. Like everything, the drama that happens, kind of is reflected on what happens in the race.
Mm.
So it's a really crazy sport. Actually, I don't follow many sports, mainly Formula One, but I don't know how if they are like this in other sports. But for me, it's crazy this situation, and it's so entertaining to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so it sounds like that's kind of what is the hook, is like what's going to happen next, who's going to have it next. But if you were asked, like, well, you are being asked to name like the one thing that's going to keep you coming back, like this is the one piece of Formula One that like this is what keep the line that ties me down to the sport, what would you call that?
Well, I do love the excitement of seeing the race, but surprisingly, I would say the community. The
Okay.
community
Yeah.
is really, I mean, being there with, like I said, people from all over the world, like being entertained by the same thing. It's
Yeah.
so cool, and I mean, I really do draw a lot of inspiration from what I see outside the track and what happens in the race. But yeah, I mean, I think that will be the community. Surprisingly, I mean, it's so cool to like feel like you belong to a little community and share stuff. So cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. So true. There's a lot of, I feel like there's certain little bits of the community that you're like, how are you part of this massive lovely community? Because someone just really trying to ruin it. I think we talk about this way
Baked
too much on
beans.
this podcast, but
Yeah,
there's just that small section that absolutely try to ruin it for everybody. But as a whole, the community is like pretty good until you cross their face.
I mainly sticks to like the girly side
Mm-hmm.
of the Formula One community because I feel safer.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
know there can, I mean, it can be a really hostile space sometimes.
Yeah.
So, but on the sides, I mean, like in the circles I've moved in, they're also lovely, and they have been very encouraging of what I do. So it's always I get so much satisfaction drawing for that little space. So yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Oh,
of course, yeah.
Yeah.
That's,
I feel like even
I mean,
like sorry, Liv.
go.
I was just gonna say I feel like even the women's side of the F1 community is almost a community in itself, because there is definitely the F1 community where it has everyone in it and we're all there to watch the sport and enjoy it. But then the female community, and those that we accept in the female community as well, the men, the gays, the theys, you know, we love them all as long as they're supportive. But within that, you know, there's also a community where we all just want to see each other be supported, enjoy it, and we all understand where each other sits based on that kind of little hostile part of the community. So we've almost got like a little mini community within F1 where everyone is just so supportive, wants to see everyone get there, claps when we have, you know, records breaking with F1 Academy and Susie Wolf and,
Yes.
you know, Laura that's
Yeah.
joined Haas. So I think it's really cute that we have that little mini community, and yeah.
Yeah, and especially, I mean, I'm obviously on the girly side, but I'm also on the Latin American side, and we all want to root for the Latino drivers. So, I mean, I've met people from all Latin America, and we are rooting for, or well, before was Checo, now we are kind of rooting for Franco, perhaps, or for also. Yeah, I mean, that kind of unity is really really nice to be part of.
Yeah.
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 I mean, speaking about communities, and you kind of just touched on, like, you know, supporting Checo and Franco, but I guess the other aspect of communities is the teams and the drivers you support. So I guess you have to ask, who are your favorite teams? Who are your favorite drivers? Who are you like rooting for?
Well, I guess I mean Checo and Max are my favorites. I wish hopefully Franco can get a seat eventually. I mean the whole Jack situation is kind of messy actually. I don't know.
Kind of. Very.
I mean, yeah, and I think it's gonna. I feel really sad because I feel it's gonna taint if Franco gets in the seat. But not like, I mean, it's gonna be very controversial. But yeah, I mean, Gabriel from Brazil too. I'm watching the Hispanos, but mainly Max and Checo. And yeah, I mean, I mean, I would say Red Bull, but I'm kind of on a bit of a weird space with them, considering
Yeah.
the. But yeah, I mean, Max has all my support now in this season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What about you? Who do you support?
Well,
That was way too in sync. Sophia and I
because we all know we're all Ferrari fans.
Yeah, we're all Ferrari lovers.
Like Sebastian Vettel said, everyone's a Ferrari
Yeah.
Everyone
fan.
is a Ferrari fan. Yeah.
Yep.
But I mean, we are like consistently fighting the Williams fan rumors. Like, we'll deny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not. I'm not beating the allegations because
We love
Logan
Logan
Sargent was an American driver, and so I was like, we were talking about it on the podcast. I was like, he's going to get dropped. I know it in my heart. I don't want it to happen, but I know it. And so we went and we got Logan Sargent hoodies, and then I wear it, and I wore it to work, and my boss was like, "Thought you were a Ferrari fan." I was like, "I thought so too." You know, like I'm not beating the allegations.
Yeah.
Nationalism.
Yeah, look,
Yep.
deep down, I'm a Pierre Gasly girl through and through. Like, I mean, now Jack Doohan, we've got an Aussie at Alpine with him, so I have to be an Alpine.
Yeah, I
girl
guess
with
now
this.
you're going to be an Alpine girly.
Well, and they have cool merch is the
They
thing.
do.
Like that's what's
Yeah.
hard with Williams. The merch, like the Ferrari merch is just, it's so red.
Yeah.
Bland.
Boring.
Apparently,
Lewis will have like a set of that.
Yeah.
Perhaps he came up with something like we have to have cool merch or I'm leaving.
Maybe
or I
they
don't
can
know.
commission you to make some cool merch.
Oh, that would be like a dream.
That would be amazing. We're putting that out for any listeners.
Manifesting.
You know,
We'll all
hit
hold
us up.
hands. We'll do a prayer circle.
Get the candles
yeah,
going.
we'll have a prayer circle. If anyone else wants to join in a mass group emailing to Scuderia Ferrari and saying we want merch,
To whom it may concern.
concerned, this or else.
Yeah.
So,
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's cool because I mean what you say. I mean what Seb said. It's true. I mean you have to be aware of Ferrari because Ferrari's Formula One basically. So it's such an important team, and historically it's like super relevant. So
Yeah.
and now with like Lewis entering the team.
Oh my
A
god.
whole new
It's like
era.
it's like it's like seeing history in the making. It's insane.
Yeah.
it's very weird. I still feel like it's like photoshopped or that he's just like playing dress up. It still doesn't quite feel right yet. Like I know I'm seeing him driving a Ferrari in
AI
Ferrari
generated.
racing,
Yeah.
but like he's a Mercedes.
I saw him with a red suit and I thought like this is so weird because I know it's not an edit.
Yep.
But I don't process this information yet, I think.
No.
I'm gonna have to see
Agree.
it like in one of the races of like, okay, he's out of the car, the helmet comes off, and it's Lewis.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm gonna have to like track like
Yeah.
I don't know, like I have no object permanence, like I'm a baby.
Yeah.
I really
Yeah,
think like it's gonna take like well after he's retired for it to like actually register in my brain that he is or I guess then was a Ferrari
I
driver.
know. Yeah,
I
yeah,
just-
yeah.
I think it's literally just because like he is Mercedes. Mercedes is Lewis. Like, they've been like this since forever. Like they are each
Yeah.
other. So now I'm like, how could they be two separate things?
Yeah.
Only that.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, something is not clicking on my brain, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's gonna be I mean, it's not weird anymore, but it's like unbelievable to me, like
Yes.
we are witnessing this such an
Yeah.
important moment for the sport and I'm very excited. I mean I'm rooting for him a lot. I hope he can like do a really well season. And yeah, I mean I'm so excited to see him.
Yeah.
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 Let's see how that shakes out. I need my seatbelt for that one.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I think this is not one of my questions that are written down, so you're probably gonna hate me for like reaching this out of nowhere. But I guess from like an artist perspective, we've all seen that photo of Lewis with the F40 and then the 7 windows open and the door closed. Everyone's got that theory about it being the dark window, his McLaren championship, the other windows being his Mercedes championship, the door being a championship with Ferrari. What are your thoughts on this? Like from an artistic, how do you interpret this? Is that the same sort of like visual for you?
Yeah.
We're all idiots.
I mean, whoever took that photo deserves a raise because the composition was so intentional. I mean, I was really that day. I didn't feel very inspired because I wanted to draw, but I saw the photos of his outfit and the whole setting, and I was like, okay, I have to draw this. Like,
yeah.
I feel it's so cool. Like framing and all,
Mm.
and the color palette, and I think Louis is very smart, uh, delivering messages through his clothing and
Yeah.
how he posts the photography he does sometimes. I think it's so smart communicating, and with
The
that
songs he
outfit and
sings.
photo,
Do you
yeah,
know
with
his
the outfit and
song?
the photo, he's like, I'm here.
No,
Yeah,
you have you heard his song with? Isn't it Christina Aguilera?
Yeah.
Probably on the way back here. Pipe.
I
Yeah,
have heard it. Yeah,
I
so
feel like
profound.
every 2 or 3 episodes, Sophia brings us back to this song.
I was traumatized. I didn't know, and then he starts singing, and I was in. I remember where I was. I remember what I was wearing. Like I was like I was in the gym, and the song because I was like texting, WhatsApping, and I was like, I'm listening to it now, and it's just like it's like my like he's not. I just it was I. It's like information overload.
You're like, Lewis,
Because the
what are you saying?
sound, yeah, the sounds exactly like him, but the things he's saying are like, that's
Yeah,
not
you're
that's
like,
not my Lewis.
Lewis, what do you
Who
mean?
is this?
My virgin ears.
Yeah. Yeah. In 2023, I think it was. Yeah, it would have been 2023. That was my most played song.
really.
Yeah. And like I've told the girls before, but I'm always in like top 0.5% of Taylor Swift listeners. But Pipe took it out in 2023. It was top of the charts. I think I listened to it like
Oh my god.
160 times or something in the year.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
I really hope he can collaborate with Charles
Oh,
doing music. Now that they are both involved with that, I mean,
They're
I
both like emo boys, I feel like. Like
oh my
not emo in
God.
like I'm gonna have like a bang, but like very in
In
touch with their
touch.
emotion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, and doing like music that reflects that emotion too.
Yeah.
Mm.
I
Mm.
would love
I
that.
Less pipe, more piano.
Well, I think now that they're in such close proximity, so like often now, I think they're gonna have to like have a little bit of a chat and be like, hey, Austin back in the day, that double disqualification was wild. Let's write a song. Like, you know what I mean? Like Charles had all these piano compositions for like Australia,
Miami and
or
Monaco.
Miami, yeah. So like, where's Austin?
And he has an
Because
EP.
Yeah,
The fact that he's on Spotify, that they're
Well,
both on Spotify is just like out of this
I
world
have
to me.
Charles's vinyl.
what?
oh, really?
Yeah.
What?
Hang on. I'll get it out and I'll show you guys.
Like, yeah, most of our episodes wind up being show and tell in some capacity.
I'm so sorry. I'm not
No,
sorry.
I didn't know he. I mean, I thought he released the EP just on Spotify. I didn't know we had like physical records.
Yeah,
I,
I'm
this
about to
news
Google
to
it.
me.
I'm about to order it.
Oh my god. Could you
But I
imagine?
heard one of his songs on his piano songs, and I think he's really good. I really do hope he collaborates with Louis, because I think, I mean, Louis is more like an R&B. Wow!
Oh my god, you're not
Oh my
lying.
god,
It's really for sale. Wait, I
that's
actually.
so cool.
Where'd you get it from?
Oh, you're on mute.
Muted.
No. Censorship.
Oh my god, I can't unmute her. Oh wait,
We
yeah.
don't, we don't know the secret.
It was
I have
some
to
like
do it again.
online
Oh.
like Australian distributor. It's not a gatefold, which I'm sad about. But yeah.
Wow, that's so cool.
I actually had a bit of a bad experience with the company, and now I don't order from them anymore. Because it was marketed as, this was a pre-order and I waited like 6 months or something, and it was marketed as a red and black marble as an exclusive pressing, and I only buy exclusive vinyls. I don't buy just like standard black. And so I pre-ordered it and I was so excited and so happy and everything. And then it arrived and it was plain black. And I was like, excuse me. Send them a
Ripped
screenshot
off.
from the website. They were like, oh, we've never had that pressing in here. I don't know what's wrong. And then because it was a pre-order, could not get the marbled pressing. So
Oh my goodness.
they gave me a 15% refund
my-
and I was like, fine. But yeah, so I had a bad
Fine.
experience, but I have a Shell vinyl, so it's outcome.
Yeah,
it's okay.
which is, I mean,
Yeah.
Okay, I'm actually order myself one as my own birthday present because it comes like around my birthday if I order it now, and it's literally $39 from some.
Oh my
Oh.
god.
You're coming home with me. Yeah, that's sweet.
Oh my god.
I'm sorted.
But it's cool because I think Charles has so many interests outside F1, and I think he has that in common with Lewis. So I'm really excited to see how they are gonna like bond as teammates.
Maybe
Because
Charles will learn like fashion is more than just big jeans.
But look, between Alexandra and Lewis, I'm sure they're
Something's
gonna,
gotta
you know,
give.
they're gonna change him. Maybe we'll see Charles at the Met. Oh, I
yeah,
would actually die.
hopefully.
Yeah, that would be actually really cool.
Well,
I mean,
Ricardo,
Lewis has like so many contacts on the Met. I mean, I think he knows how
Anna
what's her
Wintour?
name? The one
Oh yes.
Yeah, well,
in
he's
charge.
one of the
Yeah. I'm
chairpersons
sorry,
for
Anna
this year.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
he's money in some
So
way.
he can say perhaps,
Yeah.
can we invite my teammate? Like
Yeah,
it can be a
team
bond
bonding.
activity for
Yeah.
Ferrari. So, yeah.
We're spam emailing Ferrari and now Lewis Hamilton. We want to email Lewis Hamilton
Yep.
about Charles Leclerc at the Met Gala. So
Yeah.
spam
Yeah.
That
emailing
was so
us.
Anyway,
Oh my god.
anywho, I guess back to our regularly scheduled program. We did warn you about this. We did say that this would happen.
No, I love it. I mean,
Mm.
I love the tangents. So let's
Yeah.
go and
Yeah.
talk about whatever.
So I guess moving back to you and your art, what's your favorite kind of F1 art to make? Obviously, you made the poster for Red Bull as well, which, you know, you can expand a little bit on, but is that what you really love to make, or do you like to do a bit of everything? Like, what's your favorite?
Well, it depends on my mood really, because for the Red Bull, I mean, how can I explain this? The way I got the Red Bull gift, the Suzuka poster, was because I was doing like a little animation.
Yeah.
I call them silly doodles, but they are in fact animation. So Red Bull retweet that, I think, and they contacted me like, hey, we like this. Can you make like an animated poster for the
Yeah, that's
Suzuka
great.
That is so
race? And I was like, I was like dying, crying,
Yeah.
broke up that day. Yeah. So obviously I had to like pull up my game like to the max, because these were like a real client for me. Like I had to go to professional mode. And I was like, okay, so what do you need? What do you need? Like, do you need a poster, animation? Yeah, we need like an animated poster. And then we went from there. But for me, the kind of thing I like to do the most are like little pieces, like for example, like chibis or doodles.
Yeah.
Like draw them in the cutesy style. That's what I love. I also love doing like studies, like drawing a picture, try to replicate it as best, I mean, as close as possible. But yeah, that mostly. The animations are so fun to me. And I think right now I'm doing one for Red Bull again, because I was commissioned by the Sim team.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, that's what they like. I mean, they wanted to do another animation,
Yay.
and I'm working on that.
Oh my god,
So,
that's
I'm
yeah.
Oh my
excited.
gosh, sneak peek. You heard it here first.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Oh my god.
That's so
Yeah.
exciting. I'll have to keep an
Yeah.
eye out
Thank
for
you,
it.
thank you.
Notifications on.
Notifications on.
Yep.
Anybody else do that right now?
Make sure
We'll
you're
wait.
following, put your notifications on.
I'm listening for the bell, for the notification bell.
Yes, that's very
Yeah.
good, yeah.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
that's actually so cool. Congratulations.
Thank you, gracias. It's been such a crazy thing to be commissioned by them, and they are actually really nice. The Red Bull marketing team, they're also cool to work with. They're very very understanding as well.
That makes it so much better.
Yeah, very cool people.
That's
I
nice
mean,
to know. Yeah, that their client profile
Yeah.
is like approachable. And it's, well, I don't know. I feel like I think of Red Bull and it's like Christian Horner and Helmut Marko. And I'm like, ugh, no, thank you.
trust me, I'm like, trust me, I'm like battling some days, like I have to ignore them a little bit.
Oh yeah,
Especially
we
Marco.
have opinions
But
Yeah.
on him.
I actually get
Yeah.
to, yeah, I do have opinions on that too.
I think he needs to
Yeah,
think before he speaks.
I think he needs to do
Yeah.
more than that, but yeah.
Let's not slander Red Bull right now, but like,
Mm,
if you know
yeah.
sports, you've seen other episodes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of weird because yeah, I mean, we have like these two presences that I mean, they're very kind of
Mhm.
problematic for me at least. But then it's weird because I talked to when I was commissioned to for the gigs, um, the marketing, the girls I talked to
Mm.
directly, they're all so nice. No,
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
working with them directly.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
really, really, really kind of crazy for me. But I do love that I got the opportunities to draw for the sport I love, and and the drivers I love because I mean I did
Mm.
Yeah.
draw Echo for the Suzuka Copter. So yeah, it's a crazy opportunity for me, and I'm very grateful for it.
Yeah. No, I think about that piece a lot actually, and how it's always kind of been a Max thing, maybe, that he like twins with his teammate numbers, because it was when it was
Mm.
Daniel, it was 3 and 33, and then
Mm-hmm.
with Checo it was 1 and 11, and so
I
it was
love
just
it. Yeah.
I was looking at the piece from Suzuka again today, just in preparation, but the numbers being right next to each other, being basically iterations of one another, like that
Mm,
is such a cool opportunity that you got to memorialize, especially at a race
yeah.
as
Mhm.
beautiful as Japan. Like the photographer, they go crazy taking
Oh
any
my
cherry blossom
god.
photos they possibly can.
Yeah, and it was really. I mean, when I got the interview, because it was really me just asking what they needed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was fully prepared for them to tell
Mm.
me we need this, and that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as an illustrator, you are
Yeah.
kind of like that mindset, not to draw whatever
Mm.
the client asks you to.
Yes.
But they basically told me, okay, it's Japan. We need something like anime,
Yeah,
and
like kawaii, I think, is
yeah,
the
really,
Japanese word for
yeah,
cute.
anime kawaii, and perhaps cherry blossoms,
Yeah.
and then you can like go
That's
crazy with the
great.
idea. And I was like,
That's so
do
cool.
That's so
do I
good.
have like
Yeah.
the freedom to do whatever I want? And that motivated, inspired me a lot to do the piece. I mean, knowing that I have like
Mm.
artistic freedom, basically.
That's so cool. Well, and I feel
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that'll probably get the best result out of any artist, is giving them the freedom to do what they do best, which is just
Mm.
be creative and do their thing.
yeah. I mean, it's one of the few opportunities that I actually got to do something like whatever I want
Yeah,
on a commission,
that's
because
cool.
I'm very used to
Mhm.
clients being very specific.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, this is Red Bull Racing. They're probably gonna want like a ton of things, and I'm prepared because I do want to do this
Yeah,
art for them. And they were
yeah,
like, no, just do whatever you want. I mean, it's Japan, so perhaps you can mix your art style with anime, but I mean, it's up to you. And I was
That's
yeah.
like,
great. Yeah.
whoa, great.
Cool.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I guess
That's
it's
so
really like
cool.
there's something
Yeah.
obviously we didn't know until late last year that Checo wouldn't be racing this year, but there's something so like an added speciality with it that your two favorite drivers you got to draw not only for the team but also in Checo's last season with Red Bull. Well, I'm going to
Yeah.
assume it's probably his last season
At
with Red
all.
Bull. I don't think he's coming back. As sad as that is,
Yeah.
but there's
Yeah.
something like really, special about that is you got to draw, your favorite drivers, your favorite team in one of your favorite drivers last season. So that must be extra special.
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy because the Suzuka race was
Hmm.
complete Red Bull domination as well. I mean, they
Mm.
dominated. They got the 1-2. I was like
Yeah.
living my
Great
best life
memories.
that weekend
Yeah.
with the art. And Suzuka is one of my favorite tracks as well. So I was like living
Mm.
the best life I could ever live, to be honest. And it was a really special weekend for me. I actually got the. I wasn't planning on getting the Suzuka Cup
Oh yeah, with
because
Hmm.
the cherry blossoms on it.
Yeah, but I was like, this has been such an special couple of days, and
Yeah.
I have to commemorate this, and I bought it, and
Yeah.
so I got the
Worth it.
Suzuka
Yeah.
just to remind me of that weekend because yeah, I mean, having the opportunity to draw my favorite drivers when they were teammates,
Yeah.
and it's so grateful. I mean, I
Mm.
feel very honored, and I do hope I get to draw Max for Red Bull again, and hopefully if Checo gets like do something
Mm-hmm.
like a project on his own or outside of F1, I do
Yeah.
hope
Mm.
to get the chance
Yeah, that would be
to work with
special.
him, or if he ever comes, I don't know. I hopefully he comes back, but if he's not, I mean, I just wanted to work with
Mm.
him eventually.
Mm.
Yeah, crossing my fingers.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
putting that energy out for you. But we're
Yeah,
kind of getting toward the end of our time. So I wanted to take an opportunity to do like the drivers get asked when they're doing the driver parade. If you have any words in your native language that you want to share about yourself, about your art, about any recaps, si quieres compartir algo en español, por favor.
yeah. A ver, de verdad, muchísimas gracias por invitarme a ustedes, chicas. Y de verdad, muy agradecida con la gente que me sigue, que me apoya mucho en redes con lo que hago. Para mí es un placer siempre dibujar para ellos y de verdad espero que tengamos en el futuro más pilotos latinoamericanos para poder seguir dibujándolos y poder como que seguir promoviendo, ¿no? El deporte no solo en Latinoamérica, sino en otros lugares, ¿no? También hacer un poco este espacio un poco más inclusivo. Entonces, sí,
Sí.
muchísimas gracias.
Oh, no, thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking the time. The last thing I'll ask you to leave us with is any of your handles, any websites, anywhere people can
Yes.
follow you. Where's the easiest place to find you so we can tag you as well?
So I'm everywhere as Nuria Muro Gio. So that's my handle everywhere. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, and I'm on Twitter, posting my art. And yeah, I think those are the main
Mm-hmm.
social media use. So you can find me there. Say hi.
Lovely.
Great. Well, thank you so much for taking the time. It was so lovely getting to talk to you. You were absolutely wonderful. And wishing you all the
Thanks.
best with your next commission and with
Yeah.
anything else that comes
Can't
for you
wait
in
to
the future.
see.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. Really, it has been a lot of fun, and I hope we can get to chat
Definitely.
again soon.
You're welcome.
Absolutely. Okay, well, we always end our podcast like this. It's very cringe. It's become a
We
thing,
do.
but it's
Bye.
little goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.